Hello, we're back for the 2020 to 2021 laws of the game. Just a reminder, we have the Google Play Store app, Laws of the Game from the iFab available. 5-star rating. Everyone really likes it. I really highly recommend to download it. We also have the same thing for the App Store. If you have an Apple device, you can download the game so you don't have an internet or data connection. You are able to view all the laws of the games, the new ones, and this is once again maintained by the iPad. So I recommend you to go ahead and download those to look at the laws of the game. It's still going to be the 2019 to 2020 laws of the game because technically the 2020 to 2021 laws of the game does not go into effect until later on in June. You also could be able to view the laws of the game on the iFab website. Just click laws of the game, laws 1 to 17, and you're able to look up the laws. Very helpful. If you want a PDF of the current laws of the game, we're still in 2019, 2020, click your preferred language. So we're going to be looking at some documents. One's a circular accessed, by the way I just did. Looking at this temporary amendment to Law 3, or this one, Circular 18. So those are really important information. Then for football bodies in the documents section as well, we have the changes and clarifications for the new laws of the game going in effect for the 2020 to 2021 season. So here we go, circular number 18. Lots of information. It was released April 7th. So once again, we reviewed that the website is www.theifab.com. So that's where we're getting all the information from. There are so many things, changes to the 2020-21 laws of game. Not too major, but I'd like to highlight some things. So it goes into effect June 1st, 2020. Then due to coronavirus, competitions which have been suspended because of COVID-19 have the option of completing the competition using the laws of the game 2019 to 2020 or adopting the new laws of the game. And then even friendly warm-up games after the new laws of the game are in force, they still can use the older laws of the game. So we'll go over all the laws of the game changes in another slide, another website, but one of the most important things that I've been looking into is concussions. They talked to a concussion expert group and they're planning to make some changes. They also have their Play Fair initiative. Their Play Fair initiative to help, bring a sense of fairness to the game. On their goals to reduce mobbing in football, I assume that's mobbing of the referees. Also, video assistant referees, VARs, are iFalcon is very successful, 40 countries worldwide, but there has been acknowledgement of some inconsistency, and they are hoping to rectify that. Also, communication and education, talked about the apps. They also have a Facebook page. And here's the app we went and looked at. English, French, German, and Spanish, it's available. So to the actual changes of the law of the game 2020 to 2021, These are the changes and clarifications released April 2020. So we'll go a high level view. Goalposts and crossbars may be a combination of the four basic shapes: circle, oval, square, one more, maybe rectangle. That's not major. Yellow cards and warnings are not carried forward into kicks from the penalty kick. So basically a reset button. This will affect mostly goalies. Goalies who would have received a yellow card already are not going to be penalized for that, since your goalie is going to be there half of the time. You keep the same goalkeeper in the kicks from the penalty kick. So this is a fair and good law change. 11, deliberate handball by the defending player is considered a deliberate play for offside. So basically, this allows for advantage to be played. If the defender handballs it and the player forward, for example, gets the ball, they won't be offside and they won't just get the foul. They could play advantage. That's what I see the big thing with that law is. Handball, there's been, for some referees, there's been some disagreement, but they solidified it now. Your shoulder is not handball. You can use your shoulder. And they do have a diagram, and if the diagram is below, we'll look at it. Some rewording, but basically no change for the second bullet point. You can't score a goal with your hand, or you can't do an accidental handball, which is if it hits your hand is not deliberate in the time of, in the forward attack, right after the goal is scored. So here's a clarification since last year, you remember, goal kicks do not need to leave the penalty area in order to be in play. So a goalkeeper, double touches it to prevent an attacker who's right there to score a goal could potentially be a yellow card or red card. And it doesn't have to be with hand or arm, it could be double touching with your foot as well. So that it makes that distinction as well. This law, any offense not a foul which interferes with or stops a promising attack should result in a yellow card. We'll talk about that later more. Drop balls with the new rules. One player gets it, dropped to them, everybody else into 4 meters away. They will get a yellow card if they fail to respect that. And mostly for the higher leagues, if a referee plays advantage or allows a quick free kick for an offense which interfered with or stopped the promising attack, the yellow card is not issued. This is IFAB's reasoning is that, if you do dog so each denial of goal score an opportunity with your hand in front of the goal and the ball goes in directly after it touches your hand, you get a yellow card. So, instead of a red card, if the ball would have knocked on the goal directly. And in this case, it's the same idea and concept. Still can yellow card somebody for reckless foul. It does not discount that. So this law, referees mostly, well, it's not officially in the laws of the game. Most referees basically followed this even before it's added in. Goalkeeper is not penalized. Penalty kick misses a goal or rebounds from the goal without a touch from the goalkeeper unless offense clearly affected the kicker. It was an obvious change. Not sure why it took this long. Either way, most referees basically did this. The goalkeeper is warned for the first offense and yellow card for further offenses. This this is mostly for professional leagues and, places with a VAR where it matters that if the goalie is off the goal line when the ball is kicked, and they have that replay system. They've been getting so many yellow cards, and some have been less than 5 or 6 inches away from the goal line, and they get a yellow card, which affects how they play later in the match and could change the outcome of the match. We don't want that. Lower leagues generally never give yellow cards or even call this. Very rarely. And the kicker's penalized at the goalkeeper and kicker for an exact at the same time. Very rarely that you'll have that even happen. Never actually. It'll never happen. But if it does, I guess so. This is no big deal. You only do VAR signal twice in certain situations. Goal kick or free kick, the goal keeper flicks the ball and the teammate head/chest the ball for the goalkeeper to catch. The kick is retaken. There's no disciplinary sanctions. Occurs persistently. Or you could say, to waste time unsportingly. But there were in the all those game. We're talking about 1990s, 1980s. Maybe this was acceptable, but now it isn't. So what it is, goalie kicks a ball, other player heads it back to them or chests it back to them, really easy. And the goalkeeper catches it with their hand, and they can do whatever they want with their hand. They move forward more. Makes sense. You don't want that. Now let's get the editorial changes. So we'll look at a closer look. So rectangular, round, elliptical, and square. So it could be a combination of these. It really won't affect referees much. If the ball becomes defective, play is stopped. We started with a dropped ball. That's just wording to be changed to consistent. No changes here for referees. This will not affect most people, so we will skip it. So kicks from the penalty mark. Remember, that's not a regular penalty kick. It's a penalty kick when the score is tied at the end of regular or other extra time options. And, warnings and cautions are reset. Warnings, remember, being a warning, goalkeeper can get a warning for coming off at the goal line during a penalty kick. And a player who is sent off cannot take part. And remember that both teams must have match for the number of penalty kick takers. Yeah, and then here it clearly says kicks from the penalty mark are not part of the match. So a player receives a yellow card during both the match and kicks from the penalty kick is not sent off. So like we said before, for the first offense, the goalkeeper is warned. Then the kicks from the penalty mark, not the penalty kick during a regular game, kicks from the penalty mark after, if during a tied game. And very rarely will this happen. If both offend, the kick is recorded as a miss and the kicker is cautioned. That's common sense. You don't really need to worry about that. Yeah, and then here it says that second situation we just talked about is so rare. Rare, just, it won't happen. So, let's see. Offside is what we talked before. It's just including a deliberate handball. some people might have interpreted handball to be deliberate before, but now it's included in the laws, so can't be up for interpretation. So this is more of a clarification law. Nothing big. Go and change the game. Then handball is the upper boundary of the arm in line, the bottom of the armpit. So basically, hitting your shoulder, hitting really close to your shoulder. It's not handball. Here we have some clarifications. No real changes here to the handball rule from last year. And then a clarification that after an accidental handball, the ball travels some distance and there's several passes before the goal and goal scoring opportunity, it's not an offense. So that's really up to interpretation. But if your teammate hands a ball, kicks it, passes it to you, and you score directly, that won't count. If you handball it from like the halfway line all the way to the goal, that would be an offense, I guess. Really up to the referee's interpretation. So here, like we talked before, goalkeeper touches it twice. It doesn't have to be with their hands. They can touch it twice. That prevents dog-so or stopping promising attack. SPA, stopping promising attack, and dog-so to now a goal scoring opportunity. Here, text is included for if an offense interfered with or stopped the promising attack. The player is not cautioned. And that's one advantage is not one advantage, but I mean when a quick free kick is taken that the referee doesn't have time to show the yellow card. I mean, the team that wins isn't the team with the least amount of yellow cards, the team with the most amount of goals. So some teams want to focus on that. But I mean, you still see, some teams want to take the quick free during professional soccer games. Referee just stops it still. So referees are really having a hard time with this law and anticipating the players' needs a lot of times. Sometimes they do it right. So it's the same thing as above, but with advantage, meaning no foul is called. Above was if a foul is called and you do a quick free kick. Here is no foul is called, but there was an offense that was committed, and advantage to play the same thing. Player is not cautioned. Remember, if player blocks a free kick, it's a yellow card. That might happen. So I wonder if a player, does this, commits stopping a promising attack offense, but the other team quickly restarts it, does a quick free kick, and then he blocks a quick free kick. Would that be 2 yellow cards? Or because they technically did the quick free kick, then it just be a yellow card for only not being within out of the 10-yard distance for a quick free kick. So that probably should be clarified. So we have the inclusion of the drop ball here. For stopping promising attack, any other offense instead of a foul. See explanation. This is to include the playing the ball second time after restart for a goalkeeper. It doesn't have to be a goalkeeper, remember. Any player can take a goal kick, including the goalkeeper. So this will affect all players if they take the goal kick. So yeah, handball is covered by the previous bullet point. So you'd go to that bullet point before this one if it was handball. Not handball, you'd go for this one. So penalty kick, too many words. You don't need to worry about it. It's what we went above. Remember, warning first for the goalkeeper, the event, then a yellow card. And this is only happens when the goalkeeper actually touches the ball or affects the kicker so much that if they wouldn't have, it might have changed the outcome. We're coming near the end. More penalty kick. It's all nonsense. I mean, you're not going to. You're never going to call this. Never call this. It's a trap. No referee does that. It's only if they touch the ball and it was after the penalty. If a player comes in too early and then they kick the goal, then you do one of these options. But you're not going to, if somebody's 1 yard in and the ball misses the goal or it goes into the goal, you do not do that. VAR checks, nothing important, just more clarifications. Holding is defined in glossary. Notice that holding in itself is not an offense. It's only when it prevents the opponent from moving. So just because you see a pull on the shirt does not mean it is a holding offense. The player has to be affected by it. Easter position is determined by their feet or any part of the body touching the ground. I'm not really like if there's a direct free kick, you need to be 10 yards. Measure it by their feet, 10 yards. So if they're, if they're leaning forward, that makes them, their head is 8 yards from the ball, that's okay. I guess that's what it's trying to say. I would want a clarification for that because that's what I'm assuming. Change the practical guidelines for match officials. Nothing too important. And here's the handball diagram I'm talking about. So part of your shoulder, that's not handball. There's some that looks, near your armpits. Ball comes there, it looks like handball, but it's not. You can't really. You could direct the ball closer when it's closer to your shoulder, but you're not going to be able to block the ball as if your arms or hand held out. The number 11, which is usually the best player of the team, usually wears 11 by soccer tradition. And those are the summary. The full laws of the game will be released for 2020-21 soon. And IFAB also released a circular May 8th that was not included in the clarifications in the last page we just saw. This is new stuff. So it talked about substitutions since we have COVID-19 coronavirus. And most important thing is that each team will be permitted to use a maximum of 5 substitutes. And this depends on competition organizers to apply this or not. And they say it's a temporary amendment, but I mean, they may keep it if it works out well. It could be a trial. But basically what they're saying is that, now it's the summertime, it's gonna be hot, different weather conditions impact player welfare. I mean, at least in the United States it's hot. And that they don't want people fainting or, stuff. I'm not sure this has anything to do with the concussion initiative or not. I don't think it does. So if the competition organizers agree, a maximum of 5 substitutes, but each team will have a maximum of 3 opportunities to make substitutions during the game. And it's not really clear here, but I assume if you make a substitution during halftime, that will not count against the 3 opportunities, but I'm not sure. Also, this new update that was in the old one is that VAR, video assistant referees, they can stop using it if they restart their competition. So if they, because finances may be really bad right now, companies don't have money spent for advertising. VAR costs a lot of money to implement, so it may not be practical now. So they do not need the permission of the IFAB to do this, since it's competition's decisions. And we went over this in another circular. And this deals with when extra time is played with the additional substitute rule, that you still have the additional substitute and you'll have an additional 1 substitution opportunity. The substitution opportunities do not count during halftime or a period between start of extra time. So those are all the changes, all the clarifications, all the updates from the IFAB. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. And I'm happy for soccer to restart soon. Thank you. And unless there aren't any more clarifications or major changes or updates, I'll see you in the 2021 to 2022 season.